Hello everyone and welcome to our ELSAConnect session today. And it's my proud privilege and honor to introduce our Inner Wheel president this year, Prema Aiyer. And she has been such an inspiration to me. She inspired me to take over the editor's post. I never thought I would be able to do it, but she said, no, I trust you and you can do it. So here I find myself first time in the committee and straight away as an office holder. I thought 1 year I'll be in the committee as a regular member and observe and then learn. But she said, no, go for it. So here I am and welcome Prema. Firstly, congrats on taking up the leadership of the Inner Wheel Club this year and all the best wishes. And we'll start right away. So the first thing I wanted to ask you was, when did you join the Inner Wheel Club and how did you hear about it and who introduced you to it?
Yeah. So before I get into, talking about Inner Wheel, I just like to take a moment to first thank each one of you for listening to me today. I truly appreciate that. And I hope there is a takeaway of value today after my session, because that is the whole objective. So basically, before Pragya, I answer Pragya's question. I just want to say that when Pragya asked me to share with you all my journey in Inner Wheel, so I was a little nervous, I was hesitant, and I called up Neelu and I asked Neelu, what is it I'm going to share about when there are so many accomplished speakers who are more competent to share about so many areas in their lives. So Neelu said, actually the ELSA initiative is about connect. And mystically, and that is what really struck a chord in me. And mystically, that is, I practice Nichiren Daishonin's Buddhism, and that is exact. Every month we have what is called a campaign where we look at bettering ourselves every day. And the campaign mystically is about connections of hope. How we connect to one another, especially in this time of COVID, where everybody is experiencing uncertainty, hopelessness, despair, and really about encouraging one another so we are able to really even look at this situation as an opportunity and to change something in our lives. So here I am speaking to you all. So basically, I joined, now to answer Pragya's question, I joined Inner Wheel Club of Bangalore 7 years ago. And actually, this organization gave me a platform to actualize my dreams, my goals. Because I know individually one can do a little, but when you are connected to an organization, you expand your horizons and you're able to really give back to society much more. And I had, in fact, coming back to, journey for me is not about what I experienced earlier, because again, coming back to, I practice Nichiren Daishonin's Buddhism. So journey actually, for me, what it really connotes is what I do today, which is going to, the action I take today, this moment, which is going to determine the future. Yes, Pragya.
Okay, thanks. So how did you hear about Inner Wheel and who introduced you and who inspired you to join, really?
Firstly, to talk about Inner Wheel, I don't know how many of you all really are aware of it, about Inner Wheel Club of Bangalore. Inner Wheel Club of Bangalore actually is the it started off as a ladies' wing of Rotary Club. And in fact, this was founded in 1924 in Manchester, UK. And it was a group of ladies, who were the wives of Rotarians, who felt, yes, though they were, the wives of Rotarians who were doing this service and fellowship, they felt better to have a ladies' wing where they could really bond like we are bonding today, bond with friendship and fellowship and service. So the person who introduced me was also, my husband is from Rotary Indiranagar. So she is also an Anne. We call, the wives as Annes. So Usha Vishwanath, who introduced me to this 7 years ago.
Okay. Okay, so that is how it's connected to the Rotary Club in a wheel, right?
Yes.
All the wives started like that. But now they are taking other people, or is it still only
Now,
Rotarians' wives?
yes, it started off like that, but now
Okay.
they are taking other people, but basically wives of Rotarians or family of Rotarians or relatives of Rotarians. But today they, yes, if again they put it up in the general body meeting amongst the members, and if that person, yes, is accomplished, who can add value, contribute, yes, we would be taking on that person.
That's good. So what are all the, what is all the work that Inner Wheel does? I mean, I know it's social work, but what are the various areas we would all like to know more about that?
Yeah, the various areas are, yes, of course, fellowship, service, and also promoting international understanding. So in terms of what we, in the area of service, yes, so we have in the district, so we have what is called the International Inner Wheel. Then we have the association, which is, like we have an association in India. And this year, in fact, Indian woman has been appointed as International Inner Wheel President. And also we have an association president who is actually in Mumbai. She lives in Mumbai. Then we have in our district itself, there are 39 clubs. So how we really operate is every area we take on community service, wherever the club is located. So whatever is need-based, community service, like now in times of COVID, this time we have been, really reaching out to migrant workers, then, offering service to the elderly. Then we have also been, in fact, very unique. What we have been doing is really providing ration kits to the police, then to the street vendors, giving them masks. We have been doing that, and transgender. We have been where they have really been isolated, that section of community where we have really given them that dignity by, taking care of them like any of us.
Yes, yeah. And also urban forest, they had announced some project recently, no, about the green
Yes, we have done
environment. Yeah,
urban
yeah.
forest. Yes,
Yes, yes.
yes, yeah.
So what is your vision for the club this year? What projects do you want to take up?
Yes, in fact, the situation we are facing today, which we don't know when, by when it's likely to sort of get over this COVID situation, given the need-based situation. And yes, we all know that we have taken our lives for granted. And so a lot of damage has been happening to the environment, which is what we have, abused, damaged the environment. So where I would like to really focus on is with the rest of the club is environment, definitely. That is urban forest. Then I'm in talks with the Department of Women and Child Welfare, so really taking care of the orphans. Then the really educating the children about, we talk about hand washing, but really, the purpose of washing their hands, which is the need of the hour today, and sanitization, and this thing also looking at transgender. Yes, and destitute women, then there are differently able children, then also abused children. And one very, one area which I feel we haven't really touched upon is, which this year I would like to do. I'm in talks with one of the doctors in Nimans for drug rehabilitation, in what way we could really be of help to them at this time.
Okay. Okay, that's good. So at this point, I think if any one of you all have any questions, we can open it up for them. And
I think Smita has a great question. Smita, I'm just going to jump in and ask you to ask it directly.
Yeah.
Well, Prema, my question is just to take a step back and see how from, tell us a little bit about your journey from LSR to here.
Yeah.
What have you been doing? How come
Yes.
you arrived in Bangalore, etc.?
Sure.
And also to add on to what she's saying, the first intriguing thing was looking at you and the calmness, just share with us your journey also along with this, what and where, and maybe it was the inner wheel which facilitated it, but we want to know more about you.
Yes. So, yes, what, Smita asked a very valid question. Yeah, so I did my, MA in political science from LSR, also political science honors, and I was in the hostel, and my father was in the army. So so after I finished political science honors, I joined a banking, syndicate bank. And there I worked for in Delhi for 5 years. Then my father, in fact, he was transferred to Pune. So in Pune, again, I continued with the bank. Then after I got married, came back to Bangalore. And in Bangalore, my husband actually, he in fact got into entrepreneurship with my brother-in-law, where they were manufacturing these filters for micro. And so at that point in time, actually, very interesting. I gave up my bank job and I joined, I don't know how many of you all know about EST. Today they call it the Forum.
Yes.
Centers Network. Yes. Those days it was Werner Erhard, network.
Is it the same landmark forum?
Yes, yes.
Okay,
same.
I've been through their programs.
Yeah. So in fact, we were one of the pioneers in Bangalore who started it, and then it changed it. It was called Centers Network those days. In the 80s, I'm talking about.
Okay, yes.
In the 80s. And I was associated with them for, about, 10 years. And really, like Neelu, what you asked was, see, what that really gave me was about really realizing my own potential, which I didn't tap into, I used to think, I was, I never, yes, though I come from an army background and yes, meeting people, but at the same time, like there was, I wanted to do something in life, and I felt this actually, my being in Centers Network, it really connected me to what my purpose in life was. And what I needed to, I could see apart from working also, but to channelize that, to channelize my energies so that I lead a meaningful life of value. So after Centers Network, which I joined, during that time itself, my husband and I, then my husband, there were some issues at, his factory and things. So both of us, we were at a stage where both of us, in fact, I had to sort of take up a job. So I joined NIT to learn computers. And my husband joined SN Computers at that time. And then I got a job at Computer Point. So Computer Point, in fact, I was in the training division for about 10 years. I was actually based in RV Road. And of course, I don't like to sort of, tell, but yes, I was given the All India Best Performer Award. And at that time, in fact, NIT, Aptech, they all, came and they said, why don't you join? And it was, in Computer Point where I also felt, like yesterday, Pushkina shared very beautifully about those days, it wasn't called startup. So, now I regret that probably, if I had continued. So a friend of mine and I, we started this company, computer training division separately. And after I left Computer Point, and this was on Hayes Road, we were, doing pretty well. Then of course, issues, between two people. So I decided to opt out after about 4 or 5 years of, we were this thing. So, and then at that time, when I was, we were facing some financial difficulties, there was a friend of mine who introduced me. He, in fact, asked me, would you like to, he shared with me about the Buddhism, Nichiren Daishonen's Buddhism. And he said, why don't you just give it a try? And he spoke to me about this philosophy, where actually, yes, the Buddhism, which I practice today, I've been practicing for the last 30 years, it is about really transforming one's karma, not looking at, so we chant to the law of the universe. So we believe, and in fact, every philosophy also believes, because there's one truth. But in this, through chanting certain mantra, where actually we are able to focus on changing within, wherein the outside environment also changes. So through that I've had, and we really talk about not theory, but really about how we can show proof in our life through practicing this philosophy. So in fact, that's why I call the law which we practice mystical and not, magical. So so this is about, not really. So there was a time I was resigned to, now, what do I do? Where do I go from here after after my computer point entrepreneurship, where it all, just wound up. So at that time, this philosophy actually, it grounded me, like what Yumna shared. It really centered me, and it gave me the actually confidence that I can change the destiny of my life. And really about, and the focus being not on blaming, complaining, but really about looking at moving forward every day. And so that is how, in fact, so I practice this. In fact, Pratibha also, who's with us from ELSA, she also practices this philosophy. And in fact, though most of us, given this today's situation, but since I practice this philosophy, I look at opportunity even in the bad. So we look at, so really the current COVID situation, it's not deterred me from even taking on this. A lot of people have not taken up the president's post from the other clubs because they say, doing virtual, not meeting people. But I look at it as an opportunity to really enhance my technical skills. So really looking at an opportunity in every thing. So in fact, I always believe in this quote, it's never winter in the land of hope. Once you light the desire of hope, everything is possible. So we look at, yes, in this, so that is what. Anything else you want to ask me? Any other question?
I think we can open it if anyone else has any.
I had a question actually. Have you talked to Annabelle about something? Annabelle Manwaring? Is she talking to you? Is she part of your club? No.
She's a Rotarian. She's a Rotarian, not
Rotarian.
in a way.
Because I knew there was some connection to Pragya, and then I thought
yes. She's in Rotary Club. She joined last year Rotary, not in a way. She's not joined in a way.
Because she was also talking about some of the similar things, working with children.
Yes. It's the same club, right? It's just the ladies have made another organization and they're doing other projects as well. But otherwise, it's a part of Rotary. But she's joined the main Rotary Club.
What I discovered very interestingly is, during Gautama Buddha's time, a women's organization was formed. And very interesting, and it was formed so that they could support and encourage one another to take care of one another in their times of, crisis. And really, I was, thinking, even today, so this exclusive women's organization, it allows us the space to, be whoever you are and not be judged. And, really about meeting one another from different walks of life. And, so any questions?
Prema, just Vandana.
Yeah.
Okay. In fact, it's an interesting thing because, when you spoke of the years with Computer Point and the startup, Sanjeev also was with Computer Point, in fact. we must have overlapped sometime. We were here from 87, 87 to 88, 2 years, year and a half actually. He was the branch manager here at Computer Point. So I don't know, we must have met at that time. I in fact did a manual for Sonata. In fact, first time wrote a computer manual for petrol bunk users with Rusi. So I guess there'll be many overlapping friends through that time.
Yes, Ramraj was there. Ramraj.
Yes, Ramraj was there. He was the head. Sanjeev was the branch manager, and then the assistant vice president for moved to that. Anyway, now my question is, I asked Pragya the other day because Rotary, I thought, has the ladies circle, right? So So when you spoke of Inner Wheel and Lady Circle, how are they different? Because they're both wives of Rotarians pretty much. So does it have two arms?
Yes.
Like we all have two arms. Could you
actually,
tell me the difference?
Yes, I'll tell you the difference. In fact, Round Table, I don't know how many of you all have heard of Round Table. It was actually started by a Rotarian in 1962. And in fact, this Rotarian, he started it because he found this age group of 18 to 40, the businessmen, they didn't have a place where they could meet and really discuss about their business and also promote, service and fellowship. So it was started by him. And it is independent of Rotary, this Round Table. And again, it is restricted to this age group. And Ladies Circle is the wives of this Round Tablers. So it's a non-political, non-sectarian organization. And also one more thing about Inner Wheel, we are an NGO, which we are an observer at the UN also. So we don't participate, but we do, there is like 1 or 2 people who can be there as observers.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing. Yes. And congratulations on your being appointed in a very responsible space, I would say.
I know. In fact, yes. Like when, like Pragya was, you want to ask something? You'd like to ask something?
Yeah, I just wanted to mention something. Yesterday, I was listening to a talk by the Dalai Lama. I think it was in connection with the Jaipur Literary Festival. And he said that it's so important to have universal brotherhood. And he said Corona was Karuna. Which is compassion, So his take was that, what has happened to the world, bringing the world together. And this coronavirus is actually meant for Karuna. Yes. He had his own take on it.
Absolutely. Yes. So yes, compassion, yes.
Lovely talk.
Yeah. So tell us, Prema, I'm very curious to know, you hear about, I know very little, but about the Inner Wheel and so what motivated you? You're president, but what is going to be your, the highlights in the next 6 months, knowing that it's going to be a virtual environment, and what is it that you are going to bring on the table? We'd love to hear from you.
Yeah, you're right. It is going to be very challenging. In fact, you won't believe today I was, I asked somebody to come and teach me how to, really do my presentations on Zoom. Because really speaking, it becomes little, boring after some time. But, people can really relate, connect to if it is put on. Yes, it is going to be challenging. At the same time, yes, rather than looking at only the challenges, really focusing on, one of the things is to focus on the goal. So given the challenges, yes, given this, what can I do to, see that I'm able to achieve that? Yes. So in fact, I'm in talks apart from the department of this thing. Yes, even trying to really get connected to the government where we can, I'm looking at, really, I'm trying to meet somebody in the government where we can really bring about some policy changes, because people are, and it really, I know, more than the government, each one of us have to really, take responsibility. So really a small, in a wheel, a small group of us, of course, we are about 160 members in our club. It's the largest in the world, actually. So given the challenges, yes, at the same time, see, in fact, when we had our training session, it was told the most projects were done during this situation, where people really came together to really look at how they could serve and contribute to in this crisis. So I know that this is not going to be a limitation. And yes, in fact, I've also spoken to Smita about, and to the, already started talks with Sampark Foundation also, in what way we could collaborate to see how, we could see, really see how each one of us could achieve our goals. So looking at that, and yes, we have certain policies, yes, which we have to abide by, like whatever, even though I meet, say, yes, I've started, in fact, talks with the forest in Domlur area itself, meeting up with the horticulturist. Yes, we practice social distancing and wear our masks, but at the same time, yes, we go and, and so one of the things I really want to mention here is, yes, all of us are scared of the unknown. But one of the my learnings from from this philosophy, from the Buddhist philosophy, is really how to transform that fear into faith.
Fear into
faith.
Faith. Okay.
So what you have faith in. So if I believe that the situation is hopeless, I will not be able to change it. But if I believe in myself, in the goal, what I need to achieve. So really transforming it. So not focusing on the fear, but focusing on the faith.
Prema, I just want to ask you.
Yeah, sure.
Thank you for contacting Sampark, and I hope that we will be able to do something together bigger than in a wheel, bigger than Sampark, because we're in touch with the government, the situation of migrant workers, children being difficult now. So, I mean, Ajanta and I are already collaborating on this. We've both been supported by CARES. And so I think we should be able to derive synergies that make us do bigger things than our individual NGOs can. I do have another question for you. You said so many agendas, right? From forestry to children, their nutrition, their care, and then transgender, and so on. How do you balance these? Because you've got just a year to go.
Right? So, in fact, sorry, you want to say something?
I do have a second question, is how much of these agendas are decided by your international organization? Because Rotary gets internationally fixed agendas also. Certain things they do, everybody does, and then for certain things they have freedom, local chapters have freedom. So
so the international inner wheel, they don't interfere with the running of the club, nor do the district. So it depends on the funds we have. So everything comes down to rupees and paisas. But the theme this year is actually very motivating, given to us by, they just give us a theme and we follow that theme. The only thing is whatever we propose, we put it in the committee. And then it's taken to once a month. We have our meetings, last Wednesday of every month. First Wednesday of every month, we have a committee meetings. And like Neelu asked a very, pertinent question. Yes, it'll all be online, Zoom meetings we have. So now we have seen how we could make it very interesting. So yes, coming to the number of projects, so again, it comes down to money. We also have, apart from that, our ongoing projects like scholarships and dialysis. We have a separate center in Rangadore where it's ongoing. We already have a trust and the money goes. Now, regarding these, yes, these goes on parallelly, depends on the funds we have. So actually, Department of Women and Child Welfare, I'm talking to the head right now. So in fact, they have these three things they focus on, three areas, which is, she said, about orphans, destitute women, and transgender. So in fact, I am in talks with her already where we could, look at these, tap into these three areas. Then Niman, so everything goes parallelly. So not like one finishes, then you take on another, no. Everything goes on. But again, it comes down to the funds. So we also, yes, we do get subscriptions and we use it for our fellowship. So fellowship is also a very important area. Fellowship in the sense, in our meetings, we make it fun and people come enjoy and they really, have the space to be themselves. And we just, it is like ELSAConnect. And we share with one another.
Yeah.
Your second question, yeah.
So you must need a big team, because if you have so many projects and so many,
so, yes,
the active participation of your team must be really important, right?
Correct. See, the core team is about 5 of us. That is even Pragya included. And I have a committee of 19 of us. Since it's a big club. 19 of us. And then, yes, we don't, there's no pressure, no obligation on anyone. But yes, if they participate, they enjoy the club more, being a part. And then you feel you've, some value you've added to your life. So yes, a lot of people are passionate. All of us are, I would say, not lots. All of us have that inherent or innate need, innate desire to give back, where we get that satisfaction.
So, Prema, I wanted to find out, so when you have your Rotarians, how many actually get to be hands-on, or do they need to be coaxed?
They have to be. They have to be coaxed. In fact, I was, first I started off at Rotary in Ranagar, which my husband joined about 22 years ago. So I became very active amongst the ants. So by the Rotary International, I was awarded a Service Above Self Award for fellowship. And yes, you're right, they have to be coaxed. It is just a percentage actually. 20, I won't even say 20%, I would say 10%. But you have to connect with them, it's that life-to-life connection. You have to call them up, you have to coax, absolutely. Yes, I'm hoping it'll be easier this time. And, Pragya, in fact, I want to really share about Pragya. I remember 2 years ago, or a year ago, I was a secretary, and I used to request Pragya to make personal calls. And diligently, she's very diligent, very committed. And she used to really call up everyone every day and report back. Even today, even before we have begun our year, she sort of reports back, this is what I'm doing. She's already, even before I can form a group, she's already, formed a group. So really hats off to our, really ELSAs, I would put it. Really hats off. And I'm really proud to be, the first thing I say, I don't say I'm from Bishop Cotton's. I say I'm from ELSA.
Yeah, thank you so much, Prema, for inspiring me. You really inspired me to take it up, and it's all your inspiration. Otherwise, I would not have been able to do it. Thank you so much for the opportunity.
Us, like I said, not at all.
So, Prema, where else did you study?
Defeated by our own fears.
I already shared two institutions with you. So you have to tell me where else you studied.
Where I studied school, is it?
So you said Bishop Cotton's, which I also went to.
Yeah, Bishop Cotton Girls here in Bangalore.
Yes.
I also went. Which year? You must be very young.
I would have finished 96 10th.
Oh, you are really.
She turned 40. Yesterday was Jumna's 40th birthday.
Don't, I'm not going to reveal.
No. She wants to know which other institutions, because she's finding so much similarity between your educational.
2 common institutions.
Okay, this in Bishop Cotton's, then of course, see, we have traveled all
Frozen,
over.
I think.
Yes. Pardon? We have traveled all over. So schooling, in fact, I've been in Bareilly. I've gone to a school, then in Jabalpur, then Pune. So since army background, no? So that is the thing. So that's how been all over.
Which batch are you from? Sorry. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, you can go ahead. The same question. LSR undergrad, which year and?
Yeah, undergrad, in fact, I would say 77 to 80. Yeah. And before that. Yeah. 78 to 80, I did MA in political science. So before that, yes.
Okay.
And I was in the
So I must share with you that I think I went through this landmark program. You look so familiar. So maybe you were there when my faculty was in Delhi. So, but you look very familiar, Prema. So the moment I saw you, so maybe somewhere there's a connect. We'll catch up
of course,
someday.
I used
and
to
I was teaching at NIIT, so I worked with NIIT 15 years. So when you said NIIT, so I said there must be some place.
Yes,
so
yes.
We'll catch up. I think it's time to really meet up.
So when I was, another thing I just wanted to share that, when I was in this, now we call it startup, when I started, this computer training. So we were also connected to FKCCI, Federation of Karnataka Chambers. So I represented them when Margaret Thatcher had come and for the Rajiv Gandhi Foundation. So they, those days they asked me to, represent them. So that was, one of the things. So yes, ELSA's we rock.
Yeah. And I also want to bring in here that actually this is the first session, and thank you, Pragya, for coming forward, where we've moved out of just the EC curating ELSAConnect. So this is the first session, which is because we're a community and we're encouraging everyone to come forward.
Yes,
so
thank
you
so much for the guidance.
I
messed up so many times, but you and Neelu brought me back all the time.
I know.
Thank you so much
it's
for
all
the
about being together.
First time I was doing anything like this, so thanks for the opportunity. Thank you, and thanks Prema for accepting. Thank you for accepting.
Thank you. I was thinking, what am I going to talk about?
Oh no. You're really Prema. You're an inspiration to me. You are the only reason why I'm in the committee. The Inner Wheel committee this year, only because of you. That's all. Thank you so much for the opportunity
and for having the
confidence. We're taking credit saying that you're both ELSAs, and Madhulika has a very off-the-cuff question to ask, which I've been prodding her. Okay, please ask. So over to you.
I'm very intrigued by the wall behind you.
Yeah.
And I have been looking at it, and I really want to know, how do you clean all the hollows over there?
Yeah, absolutely. You know what? You're not the only one who has asked this. A lot of people have asked this question. And in fact, yes, I'll give you a background about this. I don't know how many of you all have heard about Jaisim, the architect. Jaisim.
Yes, he is a very, very well-known architect. Yes, that's amazing work.
He got an international award for this. So, in fact, this is come on. It's made of pots, actually.
Okay.
Real pots. It's made of pots, and yes, there is concrete. She's right. How to clean it? Yes, but not many. Earlier he actually built it out of this Jantar Mantar thing. When the sun comes.
Okay.
That sort of concept. He constructed this space. This is actually my husband's office space. And
so does the light come in from those hollows?
It comes.
Oh,
but now, because of so much of construction, So we need to have also our other, apart from natural light, the tube.
Where are you staying? Which part of town are you in?
Indiranagar.
Okay.
Indiranagar, just off. In fact, Beena was talking to me. Beena, right? Beenu.
Yeah.
Beenu. So I just live, she knows this 100 feet boutique restaurant.
Yeah, I know that. Yeah.
Just off that road.
Okay.
Just a little inside. Yes. So this was, and it came on ZTV also. This was shown because it is a very novel concept, of the pots. There are about 3,000 pots it's built with.
Oh my God.
Wow.
And she's right. How to clean? Yes, once a month, this guy, he uses some, brush or something and cleans it.
My mother banned me from having carved furniture in my house because she said, you are so lazy, you'll never do the dusting. I don't like to think of what you'll be having in your house.
My mother told me the same thing, but I never listened to her. I wish I had. It's such a pain, I'm telling you, my God.
But it's really, no, but it's strange you ask this question, Madhulika, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, because, a lot of people have asked me the same question.
Yeah, because it does look like quite a challenging task.
Yeah.
Even those little ledges they have for mood lighting, I can't think of doing this cleaning and climbing up and cleaning up on those ledges.
Absolutely, it is difficult to maintain.
Sometimes aesthetics and practicality may not match sometimes. So I think increasingly it is now. But Jason, you mentioned he's done some amazing work. I mean, like yours. I mean, actually now I recollect because when I was building and I, was looking at him as an architect in his work, and of course he's now really not taking homes on.
Yes.
And I remember now possibly seeing, your home featured in his feathers and one of his feathers in his cap.
Yes.
That you mentioned. So now that you mentioned that it has inverted pots, because from a distance you can't make out, I think, how awesome is that?
Yes.
I was also thinking of inverted seeding plants, just pushing in one more step.
I know, now.
Lovely.
Yes.
This is really lovely having you, Prema. And to, when she asked me, I'm so happy you picked up the phone and spoke to me. And I said, oh my God, no, what am I going to, tell her what to do? I'm so glad that you're just here, just to chat and all of us get to know you, better.
I know. Yes, because after hearing Pushkina's talk where she, was so professional about it and she had a presentation, I told Pragya, what am I going to really talk about?
No, this is so each.
So Pragya said, it's okay, just,
We'll talk about our work, what we do. That's what I told her. Yeah.
So
thanks so much, Prema. Thank you.
We'll request Yumna. I think she has an announcement. Is Yumna around there? I can't see her. Hi.
I'm here. And I was saying
hi, Yumna.
Hi, Prema. That was so good. I really enjoyed it. Thank you so much. I hope so. For you to have worried about anything I tell you. I find that the most powerful sessions are when people speak from the heart, whether they're talking about a skill or whether they're talking about themselves. Like it really, I think that's when you connect with each other, as they say.
Yeah.
So thank you for that.
Thank you.
My announcement, no pleasure. My announcement is about Saturday session. Heads up, ladies, because we're going to have Rekha Menon, who's going to be joining us. So Rekha Menon is the chairman and senior managing director at Accenture in India, and is a leading industry voice on advanced technology-led innovation and socio-economic progress. Outside of Accenture, she's the vice chairman of NASSCOM, a member of the National Council of CII and USIBC's India Advisory Council. She's also on the board of governors for XLRI School of Business and two not-for-profits, Pratham Books and Akshara Foundation. She regularly features on lists of the most powerful women in business in India and is recognized among the top 10 LGBT ally executives globally. She lives in Bangalore and is an avid cyclist and hiker. She's going to be talking about how COVID has impacted businesses, how the business environment has changed, and also about opportunities, that COVID presents. So it links very well with what Prema is talking about, taking advantage of the moment. It's a lovely flow. The reason I'm saying heads up is not just because of who she is, because I know all of you would turn up. It's the fact that for once we're doing registration. And what that means is that the first 100 people get the links into the room. We're already at about 40, it was 47 when I checked yesterday. So let me ask you to register immediately. Right after this, I will be posting the registration link in ELSA Bangalore as well as in the ELSA Bulletin. Kindly sign up as soon as possible just to ensure that you have a space in the room, because we'd love to have ELSA Bangalore there before everybody else. We're very community focused. Yes, that's true with everybody. But we also have a clear eye on our most beloved friends. So see you Saturday. I'm going to have to run. I have a session at 5 where we're recording somebody.
Same here.
So
Same
kisses.
here.